Hello, my name is Victoria Alamo, and welcome to my personal learning network for the Capstone Inquiry Project. I am a middle school math teacher. I teach 7th and 8th grade, Math 8 and Algebra, and this particular project is going to focus on the Math 8 curriculum. We spend a lot of time honing in on the fact that mastery takes time. So when we first introduce growth, which the students will come to know as slope, it's going to take several lessons before they actually have a good understanding. But by the end of the year, they know what it is and they feel confident about it. So that's why I decided to do growth and relationships as my focus. So for my inquiry project, we will focus on getting my students to explain their how and why in the Math 8 classroom when it comes to slope, which they will first be introduced as growth. I would like to incorporate more technology, especially when it comes to presentations. So my focus is to getting the students to do video presentations as video blogs and then posting them online. So my goals, I have 3 total. I want my students to be able to produce meaningful presentations about quadratic and linear growth. I want my students to be able to collaborate effectively within their teams. And I want my students to be able to incorporate a variety of technologies. These technologies include Chromebooks, which we have in our classroom, the online textbook, and the video blogging site. Now, as you can see, you can get to the mathematical practices, our Common Core State Standards, and the NET standards through the buttons, or at the top of the site through the drop-down box. There are a total of 8 mathematical practices. I try very hard to incorporate all of which as within each unit that we do. It helps the students become more hands-on and they're able to write and speak about math more effectively. The growth concept is first brought about in Chapter 4 of our math textbook, and Chapter 4 covers these particular standards. Now, for my inquiry project, we are just focusing on the introduction of the unit, and so those 2 standards, 8F2 and 8F4, is what the introduction focuses on. It wants the student to compare how things are represented, and it wants the students to be able to model those representations. And just for the introduction, I selected certain particular nets for students and for teachers that I want to focus on throughout the unit. Creativity and innovation, technology, operations, and concepts. Then I want to be able to facilitate and inspire student learning. I want them to feel safe within the classroom and online. I want to design and develop a digital age learning experience and assessment. So starting with the introduction all the way through the Chapter 4 assessment. And I want to model digital age work and learning. Like I said, the introduction is just going to the unit is just going to focus on the introduction for this inquiry project purposes. In Chapter 3, the students study different ways to represent patterns. They organized information into tables, they graphed information, and they found the rule. For Chapter 4, we will be starting to find connections between those different representations, as well as exploring the growth of the different representations. Now, the textbook that we use at Genoa in Westerville is called CPM. It stands for College or Career Preparatory Mathematics. It focuses on the mathematical practices. The students are working in teams on a daily basis. They are exploring math, and it's like an inquiry-based learning. So for day 1 of this project, I'm going to place my students in teams randomly, and then take some time establishing their roles and responsibilities using this page. There are 4 members in a team. Each team will have a resource manager, a facilitator, a recorder/reporter, and a task manager. If for whatever reason I don't have enough students and there are only 3 members in the team, the manager is just the overall team manager. So they will be the resource and the task manager. Using the roles, I find elevates team participation. Everybody has a job, so everybody is participating on the task at hand. After everyone is assured their roles and they understand what they are supposed to do, each team will be given a tile pattern, and they will start the pattern analysis using their pattern. So there are 5 different patterns, and they all look different. So that's A, this is B, C, D, and E. So the students are going to take some time and just focus in on their pattern. Try to discover what's happening, how do they see it growing. Now, there is an answer to each of these patterns, but different students may see it different ways. So this is going to spark mathematical conversations within the team, and then hopefully within the class once the students give their presentations. So after they study their pattern, they will be asked to draw figures 0, 4, and 5, and then describe what they think figure 100 will look like based upon the pattern that they were given. Then day 2, they will continue that pattern analysis, but trying to generalize the pattern. They will use different colors and labels in order to show how they see the pattern growing, and then explain the connections that they see, because they're required to write a rule and make a table and try to see if they can come up with a graph for their particular pattern. Each part of the analysis that the students complete on day 1 and day 2 will be part of a team poster. So they're drawing these things as they're talking about them and discussing them with their team. Then day 3, students will be asked to take that poster and create a video blog answering the following questions. What connections do they see between the different representations? And how can they show their connections? They will be filming their blogs, their presentations, using the flip cameras from our media center, and they will use the classroom Chromebooks to edit, which hopefully they don't need to do, and post their blogs to our class kid blog. And kidblog.org is a cool resource that teachers can set up to allow students to post written and or video blogs in a safe environment. So it's closed off from outside spectators, so only the students with that particular code can view the blogs within it. Then their homework for that evening will be to view and respond to at least 2 students' blogs, 2 teams' blogs, and provide constructive feedback. We have done in the past a gallery walk where students hang up their posters and teammates have to answer the following questions as they walk around the classroom and view the posters. Instead, I want them to circulate digitally online as they view the video blogs and answer the following questions as a post back to the writer of the blog. Then in the days after this introduction, my goal is to discuss the entire process, how they felt about video blogging as opposed to actual presentations. And then we will hone in on their skills and start to study more linear tile patterns to hopefully eventually be able to derive the slope-intercept form based on how a particular figure grows. Now, this connection does happen, but it does not happen right away, and that's okay because mastery takes time. What I have at the top of the page are examples of how the patterns could look. So these are pattern B. So this is what the students was given, and then this is what they could have come up with. These are just possible answers. I posted them on my website for your benefit, just so for those of you who are not familiar with tile patterns and looking at how figures grow, so you can see what the students are working through. Then my annotated bibliography has 22 sources from websites to journals to articles to books on everything from blogging, using Twitter, implementing technology, getting students to talk and speak about math. This is the blogging source that I talked to you about. I created a classroom, but because it is the summer, I don't have any students uploaded into it. But you get it set up, and then the students are able to come in and click join with a code that you give them, and then they can post and view blogs from there. So please feel free to take some time to go through these resources and learn a little bit about blogging in the math classroom. And then lastly, this is the beginning of my reflection. I plan to update it once we go through the peer review process, but I enjoyed taking the time to learn more about the different technologies that I can incorporate in my classroom, and I'm excited for the opportunity to implement things like blogging and Weebly and maybe even Twitter. So thank you for watching my presentation. I look forward to your feedback. To see this video, you can either press the video presentation button on the home screen or the drop down box from Reflection will take you both to the presentation page, and then the video will be uploaded here. Thank you for your time and have a blessed day.